Hey, it's me, TB, and today I'm bringing to you another book review, and that is for Jesus and John by Adam McOmber. I read this for the Queer All Year Book Club, which I created and host, and this was our book for June and July, sometime around there. This is my first week back at college this semester, so my brain is not working fully, so I don't know anything anymore, basically. So basically, I'm going to kind of give you a general idea of what the book is about, followed by what I think it did right, and then what it did wrong, and maybe whatever else I kind of forgot to mention. Who knows? If you've watched my other book review-esque videos, I have no real structure to this, and it's probably going to be a hot mess, but deal with it, I guess. If you want to read queer books with me, I'll have a link down below that links to my book club, so that'd be fun. There's a different book to read every month, and I'll probably end up continuing it on into the future, as far as I'm aware, unless some life change happens, which I doubt. So yeah, anyway, on with the book. So this book basically features Jesus and John from the Bible, except it basically takes place back then as well. And in this book, they are a gay couple, basically. The book basically opens up, I think maybe a few days after Jesus has been dead and put into the tomb. And of course, we have one of the Marys that comes back and then says that the tomb has potentially been disturbed because she hears sounds coming from inside the tomb. So I think it is John and Peter decide to investigate, and while there, they end up finding Jesus basically more as a zombie and not being able to talk or anything. They get spooked out, go back home, and then of course Jesus finds his way onto their doorstep, and basically while there, Jesus is given to John as his responsibility, kind of protect him, because obviously he isn't all there anymore. He's more of a zombie, basically, again. So John basically follows Jesus, trying to keep him out of trouble, and eventually they get onto a boat headed towards Rome, which obviously, as you know, is not a good thing. And while there, Jesus ends up heading into this house known as the Great Palace, and they end up getting trapped in the palace because they cannot leave until after the madam of the house performs a ritual. And don't really know what the ritual entails, because there are a lot of weird people going around that don't really know what year it is, where they are. So obviously John wants to get out of it, but he can't find a way to open the door, because the person with the key that has it says they give it to madam, so they're basically out of luck. Now basically this book kind of follows John and Jesus as trying to escape from the Great Palace, basically. The very weird magical things that happen while they're in there. So this is kind of a weird / horror novel, so it does get very spooky and shit. And when I say weird, I mean weird with a capital W, as in the genre weird, which in general just weird shit to happen. So as for what went right, also that this is a weird, which I loved, and then it was queer, which was also great. And I just love all the random shit that happened throughout the novel. There's some weird occurrences that happened that probably do have some religious significance that I just didn't get, because I'm pretty dumb. I still liked it, even though I didn't get everything that the book was trying to tell me, if that makes sense. The best way to kind of go into this book, just knowing that it is a weird story. So going expecting just weird shit to happen, and just a general feeling of just weirdness is probably the best way to describe it, because it really is just weird to its core, and nothing in this book ever feels settled or exact. Kind of always feels very wispy or dreamy, I guess. I think it's intentional, because even later on in the book it still feels very ethereal, because the entire experiences within the Great Palace are very otherworldly, I guess, and not in a good way. I would say more a neutral gray area. I just liked how weird it was, and how we don't get a lot of their relationship, obviously, because Jesus is a zombie for most of his book. But we do get a few flashbacks from when they were both alive. So that was fun and cute. But yeah, overall it was a weird time. The ending is very, very weird. I did not get it, but I still like the book overall. I feel like it made sense for the ending to be weird because how the book went. That makes sense. So yeah, our cast in this is very small, because this is a short book. I feel all the characters kind of stood out, so you know who was talking about who. Kind of got a good idea how this world is set up, if that makes sense. So I forgot to mention this in my little introduction clip thingy, but the publisher of this, Lethe Press, publishes a lot of queer stuff. So you want to go find more queer stuff, I will link to their website down below, so you can see all the books that they have published. So as for what went wrong, for me, just how weird it is, which feels like a weird thing to say, given that I like that, but I feel that's the thing that people have problems with, is just how weird and out there it is. And again, while I did like the ending because how weird it is, I feel people might not like it because it just doesn't. It feels very just weird again, which I know feels stupid to say the same word over and over again, but it makes sense once you read it. This book is just fucking weird to its core, and also that the beginning kind of dragged for me, just because we are still in Jerusalem in the Bible time, so it feels very weird to read about Bible figures in Jerusalem, but have this weird like otherworldly aspect to them. It does kind of like feel more like novel-like once we are in Rome and in the Great Palace. But the first like few chapters felt kind of like weird because there was no. It felt just weird to see Bible characters not doing Bible things. Does that make sense? As a whole, I feel like something that's going to stop a lot of people from picking this up is just the fact that Jesus is gay in this. Which there have been like multiple theories about that anyway, like before this book. So it's not really a surprise that a book is going to like cover that topic. So yeah, and yeah, I think that's all I have to say about this book. I did like it. I ended up giving it 4 stars out of 5. I do want to reread it as well as read other books from this author, as well as the publisher itself. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, but this book does not have chapters. It has sections, and the sections aren't really like separated normally. So for instance, like there's like a little cross at the top here that is basically like your chapter breakup. There's no like numbering for that. It's just like crosses that kind of like break it up into sections, and then they do happen like as your typical like page breaks. So that was also something that kind of like tripped me up, which is like the lack of chapters or like sections. As like really, there are those like page break crosses, but nothing that really like signifies like a full on like chapter conclusion, I guess. So yeah, I have links to buy the book down below, as well as to the publisher and the author himself. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, like, share, all that. And hopefully I will see you next week.